Hare Krishna, dear friends. Today it is the appearance day of Srila Advaita Acharya, and please have a look at this nice picture here. First this one. You see Advaita Acharya at the far right, and here's also a very beautiful picture of the Panchatattva. And Advaita Acharya is the person with the beard. So Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sadashiva combined. And we have, a couple of weeks ago, we have released a transcendental hip-hop song. It is called Mahavishnu. And below in the commentaries I will post the link of that song. It is a song with a video. You can listen today. It is very auspicious today. So today also we want to read again from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is nice when you have that feeling in the morning that I really want to know how this story of the Bhagavatam will go on. When you have this feeling that day by day you are interested in how the Bhagavatam develops, how the episodes and chapters are developing or progressing. If you have this feeling, then this is a kind of perfection, I would say, because otherwise, or usually, our mind is so absorbed in worldly, mundane topics. We want to know, I want to know how what Trump is now saying about this, and then I want to know what Paul McCartney sings about this and that. So, or even worse, I want to watch this episode in Netflix, how this is going on now. So if we are on that frequency, then our mind is constantly absorbed in mundane progressing. But if we want to know how the story of, in this case of Pingala, how this story is going on, or how the story of Jat Bharata is going on. So he had become a deer in his next life. What will he do now? If we are early in the morning, even after rising from bed, if our mind starts thinking, I am anxious to read the Bhagavatam in a few minutes or in a few hours, just to know how this story is progressing, then this is very nice. Then your mind is on the frequency of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Nandana, Jaya Braja Janaranjana, Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayat Nashta Prayeshva Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyutama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we are at chapter 8, text 28 in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Sanskrit goes like, yes. Tasya nirvina chitaya gitam shrinu yata mama nirvida ashabhashanang purushasya yata yashihi. Translation. The prostitute felt disgusted with her material situation and thus became indifferent in it. Indeed, or to it. Indeed, detachment acts like a sword, cutting to pieces the binding network of material hopes and desires. Now please hear from me the song sung by the prostitute in that situation. Purport. The network of material desires is created when one falsely thinks that he can establish himself permanently in the material world. This binding network should be cut by the sword of detachment. Otherwise, one will be forced to wander in the illusory network of Maya with no understanding of liberated life on the spiritual platform. So this is the verse for today, and I think there is a nice instruction involved here. Often we are in a situation where we think, now my life is more or less perfect, everything goes on in a very smooth way, my business is running good, or I have a good job and my family is well, I have a nice car, and I could pay all my bills for this month, So life is good, LG. But this kind of situation is quite dangerous, as we can understand here from this purport, because we do not understand in this particular situation that the material life is constantly occupied, or this material life is constantly changing. This is the nature of this material life. It is not illusory in the sense that it doesn't exist. Some philosophers think actually this whole material world doesn't exist. No, it exists. It is there. We are here now in this material world, and there is a kind of reality. However, the material world, the existence, the reality is always changing. And especially there are two factors, namely creation and destruction. So on one point we can establish a certain situation. This is the process of creation. And then I forgot the third one, the maintenance. Then we can maintain this situation for a certain period of time. But sooner or later, by so many factors, this situation will again become destroyed. So there is constant creation, maintenance and destruction. And therefore we also speak about the three gunas, namely Tamoguna, Rajoguna and Sattvaguna. So the Rajoguna is there for creating things, for establishing things. We need Rajoguna. And to maintain a particular situation we want to maintain, for that we need Sattvaguna, the mode of goodness. So Rajoguna is also in English called the mode of passion. We need passion to create or to establish something. We need a certain kind of passion, a certain amount of passion. But to maintain a situation, for that we need the mode of goodness. And then destruction is always caused by the mode of Tamoguna, tamas. And even here we have three deities. One deity is leading the mode of Tamoguna. It is Lord Shiva. He is also famous for destroying at the end of the existence of this universe. When Brahma, I will come to him soon, when Brahma dies after 100 celestial years or years of Brahma's lifespan, when he dies, then Lord Shiva is destroying this whole universe. So then we have Lord Brahma, and he's the deity for the mode of passion. He has created this universe, but to maintain this universe, and this is the real job actually, the deity for maintenance is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is maintaining the duration of this whole universe, and that is pretty long. I forgot the exact number. It is something like I think 311 billion years. and some more millions of years. So very, very long. So we know that to establish something, to create something, it takes endeavors. Let's take a house. If you want to build a house, you need passion, and it might take, in our neighborhood, I observe every day the slow progress where people are building a house, and they are nearly finished now, and it took about 1 year. They started last year in spring, and now it will be finished in a few days. So it takes maybe 1 year to buy a nice, 2-family house. To destroy a house, how long does this take? It will only take days, or maybe even hours. Some company comes and they have special technical tools, a car with, what is the word? Abrissbirne. A big ball of steel that always hammers against a wall of the house, and slowly that house is falling into pieces. So it will only take a few days, maybe 3-4 days, and then this whole house is destroyed and you have a plain ground again. So, but how much endeavors you have to take to maintain a house that should exist for 100 or 200 years, or even sometimes there are houses in these old cities in the center of the city. You may even find some houses that are 400 years old. So, and especially when they become old, like a town hall that comes from the Baroque era, it is very difficult to maintain, especially old houses, because houses, all these bricks and these, these construction is, meanwhile, it is moving slowly, due to the influence of the weather, due to the influence of the temperature, and so on. So maintenance is very, very difficult. This is actually the real job. And you also find it in relationships. Suppose there is a man or a boy, a young man who wants to have a relationship with a lady, with a girl. He wants to be engaged, I think it is called. So to establish this relationship, the boy needs some passion. He has to somehow convince the girl or the young woman, I want to have a relationship with you. And he has to buy flowers, and he has to invite her for dinner. He has to make some presents. So it might take a couple of weeks, and then this relationship is established, and we can call them engaged in a loving relationship. So it might take a couple of weeks, let's say 8 weeks or so. I'm not so experienced in this stuff, but some of you guys are better experienced. You know how long it might take to be engaged in a relationship. So how long does it take to destroy a relationship? Actually, there are cases where just one word or one sentence was sufficient and the whole relationship was destroyed. I hate you so much, get out of my life. You say this and the whole relationship is destroyed within seconds. So establishing something does take some weeks, maybe some days, depends on how expert you are, maybe even hours. But to destroy a relationship, it might only take minutes or even seconds. And now the real job is maintaining a relationship, maintaining a marriage for many years or even decades. This is the real challenge. So for this you need the mode of passion. For this you need the mode of sattva guna, the mode of goodness. To maintain relationships, be it friendships or relationships between men and women, marriages. So here in this verse we see that this material world, everything is passing by, everything is changing. There was a music album by George Harrison that was called All Things Must Pass. And George Harrison, he was actually a pretty wise person. He was very thoughtful, and he realized very early in his life that even all this Beatles hype, this is all temporary. So this is what we can learn here from today's verse, that this prostitute, Pingala, she also realized that success and failure, this is always changing. Sometimes I'm successful in my profession, and sometimes, like in this evening, in this night, she could not attract any customer. So she became aware of this illusory situation of her life. So I don't know, Facebook tells me that the connection is broken. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for listening. If you are still there, see you maybe tomorrow. I'm still online, I don't know. Facebook has just told me the connection is very weak or has even broken. I just want to say goodbye for today and hope to see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.